and start. So yeah, I think everyone here knows me. I'm Bob for yoga. No, I'm just joking. We all know my name's not Bob. But it could be, I guess, if I wanted it to. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So just know that everything involved in this practice is a practice, and if it's new to you, it's kind of like riding a bike. You likely won't be good at it until you've tried a couple of times, or I know there's some of us out there that have like natural talent and you'll pick it up on the first try. So just try to look at all the things that we do here as kind of those are the two outcomes. You're either going to need a little more practice or you're going to kind of pick it up pretty quickly. So yeah. We're going to start on our backs. Unless you'd like to start seated, then feel free to do so. If you'd like to start with your legs long on your mat, you're more than welcome. If you'd like to start with your knees bent, that's also another option. And when your knees are bent, your feet can be pretty wide. Your toes can be touching if that feels better. It's really up to you. And the arm placement can be also of your choice. So you might rest one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest, or you might rest the arms out to the side or even above the head. And maybe you even allow your head to go from right to left, left to right. Just notice how your neck feels before you find a moment of stillness. We're going to spend the first few moments of class just kind of bringing forth some relaxation throughout your body. So just begin to notice if you'd like to have your eyes open or if you'd like to keep them closed. Recognize any tension or stress you might be carrying across your face, whether it's through your eyebrows or maybe it's through the cheeks or through the chin and jaw. And then begin to analyze and recognize your shoulders and your chest and all the areas of the back that are in contact with your mat or the floor. And any areas that I mention or that you notice that start to feel tense or feel like they could relax a little, just try to focus a little on that area. Begin to notice the rise and fall throughout the belly, throughout the chest, as you breathe. And then even relax the glutes, so your bum here, and allow your legs to relax, soften your knees. And just find some relaxation throughout your fingers and throughout your toes. Just scanning through the body, pinpointing any areas, looking for a little more comfort, a little more relaxation. Any thoughts that arise, any questions, images or colors, just allow them to come and go. And then start to focus on your natural breath. You're not really trying to change anything, just recognizing how you inhale naturally. Maybe it's through the nose or a little through the mouth. And then as you exhale, again, just beginning to notice how you exhale. Not trying to change anything, but honoring any natural changes that do begin to happen as you bring more awareness to your breath. Do you notice the breath in your chest or in your belly or maybe a little bit of both? And again, not really trying to change anything, just honoring this idea that our breath kind of goes automatically, and just using this time to notice it. Does your breath feel heavy or does it feel light? And then maybe on your next inhale, you begin to draw the air in through your nose, allowing the air to go towards the lower part of the belly. And then as you exhale, imagine trying to take as much of the air from this area with each exhale. As you inhale through your nose, feeling this cool air enter the belly, low belly into the hips, begins to rise, expand, reach up. And then as you exhale, this area of the low belly begins to relax, and as much of the air as you can begins to release. And just a few more times as you inhale and exhale, breathing into the low belly. Honoring any changes or adjustments you need along the way. Maybe on your next inhale, as you draw the air in, you notice the low belly, but then also the high belly and even the ribs. Noticing this rise, this expansion as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, allow the ribs, the high belly to relax, release, followed by the low belly. And then again, starting that inhale, once again, filling the area of the low belly and then the ribs. And just noticing how it feels, what words you may use to describe the breath, acknowledging any tension, any relaxation. And following your breath in a pace that feels good. Each inhale lasting as long as you need. And then allowing the same thing for each exhale. Finishing off this 3-part breath. As you inhale this next time, we're going to fill the low belly, high belly and the ribs, and then allow the chest and the shoulders to move in a way that feels nice. And then as you exhale, allow the shoulders and chest to relax. The ribs will follow, and then the belly will release last. And again, just noticing as you do this breath, kind of breaking it up into these several parts, how your body feels. What thoughts are arising or questions? And just continuing here for a few more deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Noticing this breath throughout the entire body. Maybe you've completed your last few breaths here, or maybe you're still taking a few rounds, and that's okay. Take your time. I want you to eventually bend your knees if they're not already, bringing the feet onto the floor. And then I want you to reach the arms up behind you, stretching the fingers, reaching the arms back, and just feeling a little bit of a stretch here throughout the upper body, throughout the arms. Draw the chin in towards the chest, but still keep the head onto the mat, back of the head down, chin in towards the chest. Now I want you to release the arms down by the side. Bring your knees in towards your chest, towards your belly. Hands can come onto the backs of the thighs or onto the shins. And just apply as much pressure as feels good, and then begin to rock side to side here. You may begin to wiggle your toes or rotate through your ankles, and just kind of inviting any other movements that might feel good. Another option is allowing the head to turn from right to left. And again, just moving in a way that you kind of notice the movements and what's going on and how you feel. And then I want you from here to bring your feet down onto the mat. So knees are going to stay bent, arms can release to the side or even be placed onto the belly or chest if that feels good. And feet are going to go about hip width. They might even go a little bit wider if that feels good. And then I want you to draw your left knee over towards the left side of your mat, may even be onto the floor. And then I want you to bring your right knee over towards the left, but you will not necessarily stack the knees on top of one another. So you'll just kind of allow the knees to fall in a place where it feels natural, not forcing the knees to be stacked. I then want you to lift your right knee all the way up and over towards the right side. Begin to notice that the left leg moves with the right leg. But again, noticing the knees aren't stacked. So this is how we're going to kind of do our windshield wiper legs for today if you decide. So left knee is going to lift up and over towards the left side. The right leg gradually starts to make its way over. And then of course you can hang out for a moment before lifting the right knee, drawing it over towards the right side of the mat. And again, that left leg gradually starts to draw its way over. So kind of a slower type of movement, and you can inhale as you draw the knees up and over, and then notice how it feels as you exhale. Any sensation through the low back, through the fronts of the hips or the thighs. And then of course at any time, if you'd like to just take your knees side to side, not necessarily worrying about which one goes first and which one gradually goes over, you're more than welcome to do so. Just a few more times, and of course knees to chest is always an option here. Completing out your next round or maybe two, you can then bring your knees back in towards your chest, maybe rock side to side, again applying as much pressure onto the legs, down towards the body here, feeling the back against the floor or the mat. From there, go ahead and place your feet onto the mat here. Once again, knees are bent, and I want you to bring your right ankle onto your left knee, so kind of like a figure four type posture. That's often known to be called. And again, the arms can be down by the side or resting onto the upper body. And I just want you to think about the strength in the core, and I want you to think about the strength in the glutes, so the butt, and also in our legs. And I want you to inhale, lift your left foot off the mat, hugging the legs closer into the body. And then as you exhale, return the left foot down onto the mat. And then I want you to flow this a few times. Each inhale, you're going to draw the legs in, lifting the left foot up. Notice the strength in the core and the belly. And then as you exhale, keeping the glutes, the butt engaged, release the leg down. And so just a few times, these figure four kind of lifts. And then this idea of being able to control and lower as you come down. And again, just noticing the strength throughout the belly. Can you notice enough strength that you feel strong, but maybe not enough to where you're creating any tension? And release the left foot down. Bring the right foot down. Draw the knees side to side. And then eventually we're going to switch over towards that opposite side there. So take your time, no rush. Knees are bent, feet are flat. This time the left ankle is going to go on towards the right knee. Or opposite if you happen to be doing the opposite. I tend to do that sometimes. And again, arm placement of your choice. And it's this idea of noticing the strength in the core, engaging the legs and the glutes. And then as you inhale, lift the right foot up. The knees draw in towards the body. And then as you exhale, the right foot draws down. Inhale, you feel this nice engagement through the core as you draw the knees up. And then as you exhale, you begin to release the foot down. So not only are we engaging the core here, continue to move with your breath, lifting and lowering, we're also getting a nice little active stretch on the outer part of our hips, into our glutes. And just continuing here, going as fast or as slow as you need. Eventually release the right foot down, release the left foot down. Hug the knees in towards the chest, lift the chin in towards the chest, lift the head off the mat, chin in towards the chest here. And extend the arms and legs out long, full body stretch, point the toes. Might even notice a slight lift of the low back, even the mid back. And then go ahead and release the arms down. Bend the knees, feet flat, roll to your left or right side. We're just going to use this as a way of coming up onto all fours, so go ahead and press up. And begin to come onto hands and knees. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked. Take your time, no rush there. Kind of add any movement that might feel good once you get there by maybe swaying the hips from side to side. Another favorite option that I have is taking the hands forward a little bit and then moving movement front and back. So you begin to kind of notice this little core engagement. You feel a little movement, a little stretch in the forearms, and it also feels nice, or can feel nice, for the low back. So again, we're just kind of moving the hips in any direction that feels good. Maybe even lifting the knees as we sway from side to side. Fingers spread wide here. Eventually meeting back on all fours. Walk your hands out a little bit wider and then walk them forward a little bit. Draw your chin down in towards your chest, gazing in between the legs, and allow your head to hang heavy, and then maybe nod the head yes, shake the head no. So just this idea of allowing the head to feel heavy, noticing how your neck feels, but still pressing into the base of the hand, so pressing into your palms. And slowly lifting the head, walk the hands so they're a little bit back, shoulders stacked above the wrist. And then from there, we're going to move into some cat and cows. So as you inhale, the belly's going to draw down, the hips and shoulders are going to lift. You're creating this U shape with the body. And you can always adjust the hands and feet. And then think about cat back as they round, pressing the spine towards the ceiling or towards the sky, I guess, if you're outside. And then when you're ready, inhale, draw the belly down, hips and shoulders lift. And then exhale, begin to round. And you can reverse the breath. So if you wanted to inhale into your cat and exhale into your cow, you are more than welcome to do so. And when it comes to the core or the belly here, think about this slight engagement. So not enough that you feel like you're doing a plank or a push-up, but enough that you notice the strength of the belly as you move from each posture. Another thing to notice, if you'd like, is this slight bend in your elbows, just so we can activate a little more of the upper arms, the strength there. One more thing to throw at you. I love to give options. Forearms down, so palms down. Shoulders are still pretty much stacked over the elbows. And then you can go ahead and kind of cat and cow from there and just notice how that feels. And just know that if I suggest something that you don't like, or you're like, why would I do that? Or that doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. All right. Bringing your hands flat onto the mat if you haven't already, pushing back onto all fours. Take your knees nice and wide. Tuck your toes if you choose, or you can have the tops of your feet flat. I want you to bring your forearms down, press into your forearms, and then press back. And I just want you to sink your hips and your glutes back and just notice how that feels. If you'd like to extend the arms out longer and draw the forehead down, you're more than welcome to then here relax into a nice child's pose. Chin can draw in towards the chest, allow the chest to feel heavy down towards the mat. Eyes can close, notice the pressure of the forehead here onto the floor. Maybe even rock the head from side to side, allowing a little bit of a massage feeling here. May feel good, may feel nothing, that's okay. I want you to inhale, come forward, back onto all fours here. I want you to tuck your toes, slight bend in your elbows. And then from here, I want you to go ahead and lift your knees just ever so slightly off the mat. Take a nice inhale once you're there. Kind of shift around if you need to. And then I want you to exhale, bring your knees down. Next, inhale, lift the knees up. And exhale, lower the knees down. So a few times, go as fast or slow as you need. Each inhale, lifting the knees, noticing the strength it takes to lift. And then with control, as you exhale, lowering the knees down. Keep a soft bend in your elbows just to notice the strength coming in from your arms. And then on your last one, I want you to come into what I call floating table here. Breathe. And then when you're ready, exhale, press back, downward facing dog, maybe even taking your feet a little wider, a little closer together, kind of adjusting in this posture and this shape, this upside down V. You can nod the head yes, shake the head no. And then try to tap back into the breath. Try to notice those inhales, that idea of feeling the belly, feeling the ribs, feeling the chest. And then as you exhale, releasing down. chest first, and then the ribs, and then the belly. I want you to look towards your hands. So you're gonna do one of two things. You can start to walk your feet forward just a little bit. You can even start to walk your hands back. I want you to point your toes out and sink down into a nice deep squat. So a couple different options for a deep squat. If you have a block, book, pillow, you could always place it underneath. If you have like a couch or a chair or a wall, you like to place your hand or even place your bum right on that, you're more than welcome to do so. And then just know from your deep squat, you may come here with hands to heart center, or hands might be down, and you might work from side to side. So this is kind of like a love it or hate it pose. This is ultimately one of my favorites, but can be quite challenging. I like to think that if we can do this posture when we're like 99, then we're pretty much golden. But it's not like proven, and it's just something that I like to think works. All right, so from here, nice deep squat. Take your time. Think about this idea that the lower body is what's gonna build this strength to then have us stand all the way up. Hands come above the head. Step the feet in, and then bring the hands to the heart. So now we're coming to a nice mountain pose. I'm gonna adjust my camera here just a little bit so you guys can see me better. And then notice your feet here on the mat. Relax your toes. Just kind of notice this idea of being upright now. Big inhale, reaches the arms up. And chair pose, hands come to the heart, and bend your knees and sink down. So a couple different options for a chair here if you'd like. So you can have your feet hip width apart. You can have your big toes touching, or even a little bit wider feet aside. And so from here, I want you to take a look at your knees and then shift them back just a little bit. And then I want you to sink down. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Notice the engagement of not only the inner thighs, but also the outer thighs, the outer part of the upper leg here. And then engage the glutes. So kind of like squat, another one of my favorites, but ultimately likely not everyone's. And so just allow yourself to sink down just a little bit more. And then inhale, stand tall, palms together, draw the thumbs back, press the hips forward, slight back bend, and bring the hands back to the heart. Interlace the fingers, press the base of the hands, the palms together, and rotate through the wrist. Both sides here. Release the arms down. Based on where you are on your mat, I want you to allow your left foot to come to the front of your mat, your right foot to come towards the back. We're coming into a nice lunge here, or a Crescent Warrior, often called. So if you look down at your left knee, it's stacked-ish over your ankle, and you can maybe see all of your toes. And then I want you to create a nice bend in your back leg, so your right leg here, just to notice some activation in that back leg. Hands can come to the heart, or arms can extend all the way up. Pinkies draw in if arms are extended. And then just try to lift the chest a little bit here. I'm just feeling nice and strong. Try to relax into the toes, trying not to have this idea of where you're gripping really forcefully into your mat or floor. And nice and strong, bend your back knee just a little bit more. And then bring it back, straighten a little. And bend the knee and the back leg. And straighten it just a little. And bend the knee. We're gonna open up into a warrior two, so the back heel draws down, left arm extends forward, right arm back. And maybe a moment to kind of adjust the stance. So this is probably one of our more wider stance poses in yoga. So the knee is still stacked-ish over the ankle. Left toes are gonna be towards the front of your mat. Right toes are pointing towards the right. Nice and strong here. Lift that back arm up just a little bit. Try to breathe into the belly. Relax into your toes a little more, bend your front knee. And then I want you to straighten the front leg. Inhale, reach both arms all the way up, palms together, and exhale back into your warrior two. Strength, press into the feet, straighten the front leg, reach the arms, and exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift, and exhale, come back into your warrior two. Hold here in your warrior two, gazing past those peace fingers on the left hand. From here, we're gonna come into a side lunge where we're gonna take it about halfway. So bring your hands to your heart. I want you to bend into your right knee. Your left heel is on the mat, your left toes point in. So you might even kind of widen the stance a little, so you're going to a nice side lunge towards the back of your mat. Press into your right foot, Come back into your warrior two. Hands come to the heart, bend into your back knee, heel grounded, toes in, press into the back foot, come back to your warrior two. One more time, that side lunge, skandasana, for you Sanskrit junkies, and come back into your warrior two. Taking a small break, I guess if you want to call it that, flip that front palm so the palm is facing up. Reach forward and then extend the left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Right hand can rest on the back leg or even on that low back. Gaze can be upwards or even forward, depending on how the neck feels. Reach up a little more through the left fingers, ground a little bit more through the left foot. Notice the strength of the left leg. Back into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach both arms up. And exhale, warrior two. Side lunge, hands to the heart. Option to come halfway, or if you'd like, you can come all the way down. I'm probably gonna crack a whole bunch in my knees, my ankles. And then from there, you can come back, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Hands to the heart, side lunge towards the back of the mat. And back into your warrior two. So a few times, you can flow with me, of course. Maybe I'm going a little fast or a little slow. Inhale, straighten the arms, reach through that front leg. Warrior two when you're ready. Side lunge to the back of the mat. So hands to the heart, palms together, and back into your warrior two. One more time, or maybe two, depending on your pace. Straighten through the front leg, reach the arms. Warrior two when you're ready. Side lunge to the back of your mat. And back into your warrior two. Beautiful job. All right, nice big arm movement here. The right hand is gonna reach forward, place down onto the mat next to the left foot. The right knee will also come down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Step back into a plank, knees up or down, your choice. Shoulders are relatively stacked. Notice the strength here in your plank and just knowing knees up or down. Always the option here, knowing you can always come to forearms at any point in time, or heck, skip this plank altogether. When you're ready, I want you to lower halfway, so a nice little push up here, and then push all the way back up. And exhale, I want you to lower all the way down. From here, I want you to bring your hands out to the right and left. So they're gonna be not necessarily under the shoulders, but maybe a little bit further past the shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide, and then kind of like imagining like, I don't know, maybe chicken's not the right one, but just kind of wing out your arms, trying to fly and then find some stillness. I want you to press into the tops of your feet and engage your glutes, engage your butt. And then I want you to press into your hands and lift the chest and lift the gaze. Exhale, bend into the elbows, lower all the way down. When you're ready, inhale, lift. And when you're ready, exhale, lower down. And last time, maybe you pop onto your fingertips. Inhale as you lift. And exhale, slowly lower down. Shift the hands underneath the shoulders here in a place that feels good. Tuck your toes. Coming into your variation of plank, knees up or down, and into your downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet, rocking the hips, knowing this is a great time also to come onto all fours, maybe even relaxing onto the forearms. Also a great opportunity for you to grab water. Maybe you have an animal that's acting a fool, you need to yell at, no, I'm just joking. A child, whatever it is. Just allow yourself to kind of do what you need in this moment. Take a nice breath or two. Honor any thoughts that you have, and this idea that your yoga mat welcomes you regardless. You don't have to like everything about yoga or every teacher or every class, and just knowing that. So just honor your thoughts that you've got. Got about 3 more hours to go. We're good. No, I'm kidding. All right. So your choice on how you'd like to get there. It's going to be that floating table. So if you're in your down dog and you kind of want to shift forward, that's cool. If you want to come onto all fours from the beginning and then just lift your knees, more than welcome to do so. Maybe you like the idea of drawing your knees down and up. Maybe you hated the idea of this pose altogether and you just decide to flow some cat and cows. Maybe you'd like to add on, so as you lift your knees up, arms stay straight. As you lower the knees, elbows bend. Arms straight and lift the knees, elbows bend, knees lower down. So again, you might hate it. You might be like, I'll do it just because you're asking. You might never do it again. Eventually, push back, downward dog. Take your time, adjust your feet, adjust your hands. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Relax your jaw. And then from here, it's going to be that option of hands back, feet forward to come into that nice deep squat. So take your time, drop the glutes down, hands can come to the heart, or hands can of course come down to the floor. And again, we're just here for a moment. Think about the strength of the feet. We're building strength in the ankles and also those muscles around the knee. Lift all the way up. Hands above the head. Step the feet in, hands to the heart. So take a moment. You can always interlace the fingers, base of the hands press in, rotate through the wrist if that feels good for you. And depending on where you are on your mat, just the idea of stepping the right foot forward towards the top, left foot back, into that nice lunge, or Crescent Warrior, sometimes it's called. And you want the right knee stacked-ish over the ankle. So if it feels good to kind of have it back or even out to the side, honestly choose what feels good in your body, what's not giving you a signal of pain or ouch. Bend into your back knee. Notice the strength that comes from that back leg. Hands can be at the heart, or arms can extend forward. Again, the idea is that the pinkies are turning in if the arms are extended up. Find a nice balance here. Relax into your toes. And the chest is slightly lifted. And just allow yourself to breathe. Bend into your back knee just a little bit more. And then maybe straighten it just a little. Bend it just a little. And straighten it. All right, we're going to Warrior 2 on this other side. So the back heel draws down. Takes time to kind of adjust the stance if you need to. Right arm forward, left arm back. Notice your toes. You can even wiggle them around before you kind of plant them down. Notice the strength coming from that front leg. Even that idea if you're trying to maybe pull the mat by pressing the feet apart, and maybe even trying to pull the mat together by trying to pull the feet in. I know that seems a little weird, kind of a weird cue to do. Nice and strong. All right, same as before, straighten that front leg, reach the arms up, big inhale, and then as you exhale, Warrior 2. And if you're familiar and you have a pace, feel free, straighten the leg, inhale, reach at your own time, and then as you exhale with control, release down into your Warrior 2. Inhale, lift and reach, and Warrior 2. We're gonna come into that side lunge whenever you're ready. So Warrior 2, inhale, and then hands to the heart. You're bending into the back knee. That right heel grounds, the toes lift. And again, you might shift the shape, movement a little bit. Inhale brings you back to Warrior 2. Exhale brings you into that side lunge, or Skandasana, is often called. And powering through that back foot, feel the strength, Warrior 2. And back into that side lunge, Skandasana. All right, Warrior 2. We're gonna take a break. I don't know, I need to come up with a better word there because I can still feel my thighs. Flip that front palm, reach forward, and extend, reach that right arm all the way up. So reverse, Peaceful Warrior, sometimes it's called. Left hand can be on the back leg or even draped on that low back. And again, that relationship, toes grounded, but not tense onto the floor. You can engage your glutes a little, and then ground into your right foot. So press down a little bit more, and then reach to the right fingers. Breathe. Super common to kind of leave or forget the breath, and that's okay. It's kind of what your teachers are here to remind you. Come back to your Warrior 2. I know that thigh's talking. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. All right, side lunge of your choice. So maybe you go about halfway where we were going, or maybe I'm gonna crack, but I'll demonstrate for you. Maybe you go all the way down, and then the idea, you're using the power through that back leg and coming back to your warrior two. And flow it at your own pace, straighten through the front leg, reach the arms up. Warrior two when you're ready, take your time, no rush. Side lunge when you're ready. And back to your warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. And back to your warrior two. Side lunge to the back. Hands to the heart. Beautiful job. Come back to your warrior two. Option to hold. Wonder why we're still on the side. Building strength, of course. Big movement. Left hand reaches all the way up next to the right foot. You're going to turn that back foot and bring the left knee down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Stepping into your plank. Again, these can be up or down. I'll demonstrate a little bit of both. I try to give an option for everyone to kind of see what every shape looks like. Try my best, of course. And then just know we're going to come into a nice little push-up. So when you're ready, exhale halfway down. Push up, inhale. Exhale, lower all the way. Hands are going to walk out a little bit right and left. And maybe you discover that your hand placement last time wasn't your favorite. Adjust as you need. Decide if you'd like to keep your fingertips onto the mat or if you'd like to have the palms flat. And then I want you to inhale, lift. And then exhale, of course, when you're ready, and lower down. And you can do that 2 more times. And each exhale lowers you down. That last one, like I said, maybe you decide to pop up onto the fingertips. And lower down. Take your time. Hands underneath the shoulders in a way that feels good as you rise back up for that plank, knees up or down, and then into your downward facing dog. Couple options here, something I always like to do and invite in my class. If you're familiar with yoga and you'd like to go through a traditional vinyasa, feel free. If you'd like to come down and grab water or chill in child's pose, feel free to do that. Maybe you'd like to kick up into a handstand, or you'd like to do some type of arm balance or something, and I want you to also feel free to do that. So like there's no right or wrong. You can find movement, you can find stillness, you can breathe. Actually, no, you must breathe through all of them, if you don't mind. And just this idea that if you ask your body, what could I do in this moment to make me happy or do what I want, what would it be? Ice cream sounds good, but that's not the direction we're going in, are we? Another breath or two, take your time, whether you're flipping up, upside down, whether you're going through your chaturangas, or maybe you're grabbing some water, whatever it is, take your time. No rush, truly. I think it's so important in yoga for teachers to kind of lead you in postures and give you safe ways to do stuff. But I also think it's important for instructors to give you the space to kind of learn how to ask questions within and be able to answer them in ways on your mat, whether it's finding stillness or pushing through another posture, whatever it is. Just kind of these times and ways to be able to kind of learn a little bit more about yourself. Eventually we'll meet on all fours, but take your time in getting there because there is absolutely no rush by all means for doing so. You can extend your right leg back, which is going to be tucked. You're just going to get a nice little gentle stretch here as you start to press into the hands and draw the heel back. Again, no rush, take your time. Then you're going to place the shoulders a little bit more back over the wrist. And then press your heel back, but lift your toes. And then I want you to lower the toes down, tap them onto the mat. And lift the foot. And tap it down. Then I want you to lift it up. You're going to move the right leg over the left leg. So it's going behind you and likely off your mat, or like me, onto my couch, which I'm going to try and show you here. You might move the hands, and then I want you just to press back into that right leg. So this might be like a deep stretch. You might not feel much at all, and that's okay. From here, lift the right foot, bring it up and over, bend your right knee, right foot outside of the right hand. Take your time. Likely you'll move the left knee back behind you a little bit more. Roll the right foot off the mat so the side of the right foot will be down. Your right hand can come onto your thigh. That feels good. Before, bringing your hands back, straightening that right leg as much as you can. So if you notice, my straight is not what I would consider super straight. I mean, it's somewhat straight, but it could be straighter, but that's okay. That's where I'm at today. And then you're going to walk forward and take the right knee back. If it feels good to kind of shake your hips side to side or like rock forward and rock back, feel free to do so. And take your time before we decide to go on towards the other side. So it'll be the left leg back, the toes will be tucked. You'll then press some weight into the hands and shift the leg back a little bit. You might feel a nice stretch in your calf here. It might be a nice big stretch, might be, I don't know, a little, not very noticeable. And then shift the shoulders so they're coming back over the wrist. Press the heel back, but lift the toes. And you're just gonna lower and lift the foot a couple times here. And then go ahead and lift. You're gonna bend the knee. Draw the left foot towards the outside of the left hand. Scoot the right knee back a little bit underneath you. Open up some space here. Roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Maybe you notice a slight difference from left to right, and that's okay. We tend to use each part differently throughout the day, especially if we're dominant on one side. Maybe we're right-handed or left-handed. So just kind of honoring the idea that we might try to do the same things on each side, but they might feel different on each side. You can try to straighten the leg, and like I said, your leg might be a little more straight than mine. Maybe not, and that's okay. It's just more about how it feels. Before bringing yourself back towards the top of your mat and bringing the left knee back towards the back of the mat. All fours, flowing through a cat or cow or two, or maybe even swaying the hips from side to side. At this moment, take your time in making your way back on towards your backs, unless you'd rather maybe complete class in more of a seated meditation if you'd like to. If you have a wall close, or likely if you're in your house, you probably have a wall, you can scoot your butt, your bum, right up against the wall. If you imagine I had a wall behind my legs, you could then place your feet or legs onto the wall. It's a nice stretch for the backs of the legs. If maybe you're close to a couch or a chair, you could bend your knees and drape them over if that felt good for you. Just know that at this time, kind of like the beginning of class, this is more about comfort. So finding a place on your mat or in your home that you feel comfortable, where you feel like you won't worry about any pain or sensation in your body, where you can focus a little more on your thoughts. And not necessarily focusing on the thoughts, but just letting them come and go as you breathe. Not entertaining them for longer than a breath would last. Eyes can be open or eyes can be closed. And throughout this last portion of class, feel free to make any needed adjustments at any time. Begin to notice the left toes, the right toes. Acknowledge any sound or thoughts that arise in this moment, Then allow for a nice exhale. Draw attention to the bottoms of the feet and the tops of the feet, the ankles. Notice your next exhale. Relax your shins and your calves. Soften around the knees and the knees themselves. And then notice your next exhale. And maybe even allow that exhale to be a little bit longer than you normally would. Relax the glutes, the bum here, and notice how the low back feels a little more grounded. Left hip and right hip. Notice the breath in the belly. As you inhale, the belly rises, it lifts, it expands. As you exhale, the belly relaxes down. Notice this throughout your ribs, left and right. Each inhale, them expanding out and up, gently and slow. And then as you exhale, just allowing this movement to reverse. Ribs move in and down. Feel the breath in the chest and in the shoulders and maybe even in the throat or the neck. And again, this idea of it being slow and relaxed. Right and left arm and the elbows. The softening of the fingers and each one of the wrists. Breathe into the belly to further release any tension from your shoulders, your upper traps, the muscles around the neck. And relax the jaw, soften the tongue here, down away from the roof of the mouth. And then any tension left and felt on your face, just kind of allow it to release with your next exhale. Maybe the next few exhales, depending on how much tension you may be feeling and or carrying. Cool air enters with each breath you take in. And slightly warmer air exits as you breathe out. Just allowing yourself to find some stillness. Recognizing in this moment you are doing exactly what it is that you're supposed to be doing, nothing more and nothing less. Guilt-free relaxation. And take a moment to think of something you feel grateful for today. Notice how it feels to think about this. Does it bring a smile to your face? A slight chuckle maybe? And maybe before going to bed tonight, just taking a moment and feeling grateful for this thing once again. And honoring that feeling that you get when you think about what it is that you're thankful for. Whether it's family or food or shelter or a particular person. And then in your time, in your own way, you'd like to start to add some small movements, maybe opening of the eyes or wiggling of the fingers or of the toes. Maybe you're going to lie here for another hour, convincing your family yoga was 2 hours. And just knowing that you are welcome to remain on your back or even come to seated to close out class. If you're on your side or on your back, you can place your hands onto your heart. If you decide to come to a seated position, you can do the same or place your hands at heart center. And just know there's no judgment. You literally can do whatever feels good for you, because that's truly why I'm here. To honor you and do what feels good for you. Alright, party people. I know we're all kind of suffering in our own different little ways here, but I just want to let you guys know that I see and hear all of you. So if there's anything I can do to further help, I'm good at bad jokes and I can teach yoga, so I don't have a lot that I can offer, but I can offer those. And I just thank you guys so much for allowing me to share and your time and space into your beautiful homes and faces. And yeah, namaste. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Know that I'm always open. Comments, feedbacks, F grade, A grade. I'm new to this, so I'm always up for anything. I did not invent yoga, so I'm not going to be offended if you're like, chair sucked and I've never done that version or whatever it is. So just know that like I'm really here to give y'all what you want. So any suggestions or anything, you guys just let me know. And like I said, if you like hated it, there's no obligation to like tell somebody like, oh, hey, by the way, I hated everything you did. But just know I am open to all comments, good or bad. And yeah, super thankful. So have a great night. And yeah, see you again next time.